Hey, good morning to all YouTubers out there. Just another quick update for the Living the Dream Racing channel. Um, Not a lot going on right now. We're kind of in the middle of winter and it's the holiday season and stuff, and not a lot of racing stuff going on, at least in this part of the world. This weekend's the Snowbird Nationals down there at Bradenton Raceway Park, and they got some stupid fast cars running down there and some great competition. That'd be a fun thing to participate in, but that's a little bit out of my ability right now. But nevertheless, lots of stuff going on in the racing community and other things. And I just thought I'd kind of give you guys some updates on where things are going with us right now. Now, as far as the world up here goes, there's been some updates done to the track. They tore down the old tower. They're building a new tower. And there's some other things going on at the track, which should be pretty nice for this upcoming season. There's going to be some more cars out there this next year. My daughter's going to have her car out there that we got for her this summer. And then my buddy Jay is going to have a car out there with his wife in it, learning the ropes and getting ready to run and go fast. So it's going to be a fun season this next year. And if the weather up to this point this year is any indicator of what next summer is going to be like, the weather should be a lot more cooperative, shall we say. It's been a fairly mild winter up to this point. Not saying it's going to stay like that, but at least up to this point compared to last year. And typically the trend is when it's a milder winter, it's a much nicer summer. So we'll see how it happens. That doesn't mean it's going to be that way. We're hoping, and we're going to see how it goes. So anyway, just thought I'd let you know some updates on the car and what's going to be happening. My transmission case, JW Ultra Bell and JW Ultra case, certification expired last year. So I got to looking at whether or not I'd recertify the case and a bell again, or if I just get a whole new transmission case and make it easier that way. And when I got to figuring out how much it was going to cost to get that case recertified, including the shipping back and forth versus buying a new case, believe it or not, because of the shipping here in Alaska and getting things sent up here and out and back and stuff, it was actually more cost effective. It wasn't cheaper, but it was more cost effective just to buy a new case. The other thing is BTE was having a Black Friday sale on all of their stuff, so I picked up a brand new two-piece BTE case and a new shorty tail housing, and that with a fresh 5-year cert is going to be going in the car and replacing the JW unit that's in there. Nothing wrong with my JW stuff at all. It's a little old. It's been in there for a while, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's still perfectly usable. It's just it was easier for me to get another case. The advantage to that is I don't have to take the transmission apart and leave the parts laying around until I get the case back to put it back together. I can just take the parts out, transfer them over, drop the case back in the car, and we're ready to go. And then that way I can get the other case either recertified and use it for a backup transmission, or maybe sell it. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how that goes when the time comes. But anyway, yeah, we're putting a new transmission in it, or not a new transmission, but a new transmission case in it. And another thing I picked up, I've got a data recorder on its way. In fact, it should be here this week. Got one from RPM Performance. Marty Chance at Chance Racing Converters recommended them, and I think I mentioned before, after doing a price point comparison, they're about half the price of a Computech or a Race Pack, and they do come highly recommended. After talking with them on the phone, very, very helpful people. They wanted me to have just what I needed and nothing more, so to save money, and that's what we got coming. And so I'll be getting that in the car as well, and we'll be able to get some real data off the car this time instead of hoping that my ignition records RPM trace, which it hasn't been real successful at this year. So we're going to be addressing that as well. One of the changes that came down here just recently within the last few days is the NHRA amended the rule book in regards to Top Dragster and Top Sportsman and Advanced DT, and the thing that they changed is the seatbelt requirement. Not sure why they did it, but they said that now for Top Dragster and Top Sportsman, we're required to have a 6-point harness minimum. We can run a 6-point or 7-point, but 6-point minimum. I don't know the details behind the change. I'm not even going to bother with the details behind the change. The only thing that irritates me about it, and it really bothers me a lot, is the fact that instead of making it happen at the beginning of the year or making it happen at the beginning of the following season, they're making it happen mid-year. So most of the time a rule change is done. Hold on a second here. Got my little buddy right here. Most of the time the rule change is done. It's my little buddy Toby. Most of the time a rule change is done. It's either effective at the beginning of the next season or effective at the beginning of the following season. Why this is being implemented mid-season, I don't know. They have done that for some things as an immediate address for car issues or something like that. But when it comes to something like that, it's typically not something that they initiate mid-season. And it's kind of stupid to me. Some cars, it won't be a big deal. Some cars are already equipped with those. But older cars, which predominantly dominates the ranks, it might take a little bit of work to make that happen. Seat modifications, addition of tubing and stuff in the cars, possibly rethinking or redoing the seat and anchor points of the seat belts. So it's not just a simple change where you just take one belt out and put another one in. My car in particular, I'm going to have to do some seat modifications and probably put in 2 new anchor points for a 6-point system. So it's going to take some work to make it happen. We'll see what it's going to take, and we'll figure it out, and we'll do what we got to do, I guess. But I have reached out to the owner of the track and to see if they're going to grandfather us in to let us go ahead and finish out the season with whatever belts we have, as long as the current cert is current. Just to make it easier on the racers, because we don't race. Our season up here is pretty short, so I don't see any benefit to making it happen in the middle of the year. For us, it's more of a pain in the butt than anything, and it'd probably be better served just to let us slip by for the year and call it good, and then come out next year with the updates, the required updates, which would be a lot easier on everybody. We'll see how it plays out. I've got a message out to them, and we'll see how it goes. So, but yeah, so we're going to be fielding my daughter's car. She's just going to be driving it. We got to get her used to it and stuff like that. But aside from that, it's going to be a new case in the car, a data recorder, and more than likely a new seatbelt. So that's about it. Aside from that and the updates at the track, not much else going on up here. It's pretty quiet. I'm going to do something that I probably didn't want to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. When I do go to pull the transmission out of the car, I'm going to take and do a video on swapping over the parts and looking at the 2 cases, the differences in them, and all of that stuff, and the changes that I'm making to the transmission when I do the swap. I'll also go over the converter and what I'm going to be doing with that, and I'll put those up in a video as well. I had planned to do a lot of tech videos, and the reason I haven't done it, and I kind of slacked on showing me putting my engine together and everything else, was there's thousands and thousands of these videos out there already, pretty much showing the same thing, just a different person doing it. And I don't necessarily see that much benefit to showing more and more stuff. This is how I take my power glide apart, this is how I put my power glide together, this is how I take my engine apart, this is how I put my engine together. So basically what I'm going to do is, on the transmission, I'll show you guys me going through that one, just so you can see the differences in the 2 cases, and then how my stuff is set up. So I've got these little effects popping up here. I don't know how to get rid of them, but anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing with my stuff, and then the rest of it, I'll give you updates as it's done and as it goes back in the car and stuff. I'm going to be showing a couple tools that I got. One in particular is a transmission jack from Harbor Freight, a little scissor jack. it's going to make getting the transmission in and out of the car a hell of a lot easier, because mine's kind of a pain because of the narrow frame rails in the back. But this jack will make things a lot easier. I've got to kind of build an adapter for it, but that won't take very long. We'll get that done. And then the other thing I'm going to do is, I've had a 1 gallon primer tank for a while. It's too big to put on the car because I don't have any good place to put it. So I've been using the 1 quart primer tank to start the car with. But I do like to start and warm the car on gasoline because it does heat up a lot faster. And then when I go into heat soak, it doesn't lose temperature as quickly as it does if I'm on alcohol. So I'm going to build a bracket for that to put it on the car while it's in the pits, so I can start it and run it on gasoline and get it heated up and get it warmed up before each round. Because I had an issue this year of having the car up to temp before I made the runs, and my car does like to run a lot hotter than a gasoline car does. I pick up considerable amount of mile per hour in ET when the temperature of the engine's 180 or above, and pretty much every single run that I've made this year, the engine temperature was 140 or below. So we're going to fix that. Being able to warm it up on gasoline will save some alcohol fuel, or save some costs on alcohol as well, and we'll be able to get the car warmed up a lot faster as well. So that's going to happen. I'll show you guys that. The bracket's going to be makeshift. It's going to be kind of hokey, but it's just going to sit on the back of the car. I'm going to take the hose off the fuel pump for the primer, put it on the bigger tank, run the car until it's warmed up, and it's going to come off the bigger tank and go back on the primer that's on the car, just to swap between the two. That's all it's going to be. It's not going to be anything fancy. It's going to get the job done, so it can work. One other thing I am doing, either tomorrow or Tuesday, most likely tomorrow, I'm going to be shipping my intake off to Induction Solutions in Florida. Get Steve Johnson to go through my nitrous system and make sure it's all ready to go, and that I've got some good tunes for it. And so, because I will be spraying this next year, we're going to be going a lot faster, both on motor and on the bottle. The data recorder is going to help with that, because Marty needs some data to figure out exactly how to set my converter up. The stator that's in it is way too tight. The one that we guessed at that he sent me is way too loose, so we need to find the happy medium between that, and probably get a stator for NA and a stator for nitrous, so I've got as close to the best of both worlds as I can get. We'll see how that plays out, but either way, the data recorder will help with that. So only other thing I've got going on is this week on Wednesday. I'm going to be down for a little bit, so I'll probably do some more recordings here until about the 17th, which my son comes out from Virginia. But I'm going to be going in for shoulder surgery. Injured my shoulder this last summer, and it's tore up pretty good, so we're going to be getting that fixed, and I'll be going through that recovery. While I'm down for that and I'm doing these videos, I am going to do some tech, talk about some things that hopefully might help you guys out there. Be looking for input as well on stuff to cover, and I'll just give my insight on stuff, my experience, my education on it, and you can use it, do what you need with it, or whatever, critique it, whatever, and we'll go from there. But anyway, that's about it. I just want to put an update out there so you guys know I'm still around, and please like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos. I want to try to grow this channel, make it a little bit bigger. This next year, I'm going to try to do a lot more filming and a lot more editing, or not editing, but a lot more filming and a lot more content throughout the season, both on and off the track. So we're going to try to make that happen and make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun to watch videos. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Again, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one.